Hey friends, so nice to see you. Here we are. It is the day of the equinox. This is a sacred time that is celebrated and has been celebrated in so many ways by so many cultures. We're going to do our own special tarot-centric celebration here tonight. If you happen to be watching the replay, then obviously the day of the solstice, the night of the solstice has passed, but you can still enjoy this. You can do the exercises, you can contemplate the things we're contemplating. It's all good. Now, I'm broadcasting from my office in Palm City, Florida, where it is most certainly the autumnal equinox, the fall equinox. You yourself may be in the southern hemisphere, where it is the vernal equinox, the spring equinox. We will be more focused on the autumnal energy, on that Mabon fall equinox energy tonight. But one way or the other, we're going to be playing with the energy of balance. So wherever you are in the world, there will be some stuff of interest here for you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I am so happy to see you. I just need to make a quick adjustment here. Hang on one sec. All right, so. There we go. Got it. All right, it is so good to see all of you, and I need to start with some big thank yous. Of course, thank you to everyone for being here, and thank you especially to the members and the moderators. Thank you to Kyla's, who has upgraded her membership to stars, so you should be able to join us on Sunday. On Sunday, of course, is our Stars and Suns Zoom. If you are a member at the Stars level or the Suns level, there's a Zoom link for you in the community tab. If you can't find it, just reach out to me and I'll send it to you. And it's very informal, but we meet on Zoom. We do it pretty much once a month. And lots of fun. I hope you can join us. Katie Kondo is back. So good to see you. Has rejoined at the Suns level, so we sure hope to see you on Sunday, Katie. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for helping out as well with a generous super chat. It's good to be home. We have certainly missed you, and it is great to see you. So happy to see all of you. Glad you're here. Christina, thanks for being a member in Chester County. Wishing you a good evening as well. Smile Soul 20, thanks for being a member. Glad you're here. Sarah, happy Mabon from rainy Punta Gorda, Florida. And thanks for using members only emojis. Trey Cameron, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member in Los Angeles, California, using the Centennial Rider-Waite-Smith. Yes, indeed. What a great deck. And if you are a tarotist and you have a deck handy, you definitely will have an opportunity to play with it tonight. If you do not, that is perfectly okay. There is stuff here for everybody. TJ and GA is here. In GA using the Great Outdoors Tarot. So wonderful. Ness, so good to see you. Thanks for being a member. You're going to catch the recording tomorrow. Virginia W. Yay. Thanks for being here in Connecticut. It's already dark. You're going to miss the extra daylight. Yeah, we will miss that here in Florida as well. Julia Bonesteel, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. All right. Hey, Choki, you made it. Very good. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Mixier, Michelle, so good to see you. Martha, glad you're here. Sally, nice to see you. Sarah, Paul is eavesdropping this evening. That's fabulous. I love that. So happy to see you. Yeah, Justine, glad you're here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for being a moderator. Yeah, we are quarter today, not cross quarter, but quarter. But hey, good enough, close enough. So good to say hello to all of you. Kimmy's Divination Station, thanks for being a member. Glad you're here. Betty Flesher, glad you're here. Thanks for being a member. You're using Ethany's Modern Love Tarot. From West Virginia, Peggy Lou Levens, hope you're feeling better. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Rose, thanks for being a new member. We appreciate you. Glad you're here tonight. Lisa McCord, glad to see you. I think I've said hi to Mo Salter. Glad you're here from London. I know it's really late where you are, so thanks for staying up with us. I'm sure I miss saying hi to someone and more people will join, but that's okay. Hello, everyone. All right, so today is the autumnal equinox in the Northern Hemisphere, the vernal equinox in the Southern Hemisphere, and starting in about 1971, this holiday started being called Mabon, Mabon, and that is the Wiccan name for this holiday on the Wheel of the Year. It was really the Wiccans who popularized the idea of the Wheel of the Year, the 8 holidays, which are the 2 equinoxes, the 2 solstices, and then those 4 cross-quarter days, which include Halloween or Samhain, Yule, May Day, which is Beltane, and August 1st, which is Lunasa or Lammas. So today we are celebrating everything that has to do with equinox, and I want to start with showing you something. Teresa, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. You're listening while writing a paper. Cool. Let's see. DH, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Does this autumn favor during home repairs, moving, or both? One repair I'm considering will be quite expensive. Should I build a retaining wall? We will absolutely do some readings, so we will take a look. And Kimmy's Divination Station, you're in upstate New York. That is so cool. So did y'all see this in the news? You can't, okay, the places that are looking white are actually green. I'm up against a green screen. Let me see if I can show it to you this way. Hang on, this may screw up my focus. Yeah, no, that's better. That's better. Do y'all see that? Do you see that? Have you seen that? And do you know what it is? Take a look. Take a look at it significantly. All right, I'm going to go back to my face for a minute. And you'll see the cards and what I got going on with the cards in a moment. But yeah, this. What is that? Have you seen it? What is it? It looks a great deal like the Chinese symbol that we call the yin-yang symbol, right? The symbol of balance, unity, and harmony. That's what I see there. Is that what you see? Well, the interesting thing, and this happened a little while ago. I've been sitting on this, waiting to share it with you for today. So you know I've been like totally excited. What that is an image that finally been able to take a picture. Technology has improved. This is a quantum entanglement. This image, Trey is guessing an alien. What it is a quantum entanglement. It is 2 photons entangled, and it looks like that. We all know this symbol. It looks like that. So, of course, it was IT John who showed it to me. He was like super excited by this. And his thought, speaking of aliens, Trey, his thought was, well then, millennia ago, when that symbol first emerged in Chinese culture, they must have had this technology to be able to see this, because what it means is literally what it is on the quantum level. Crazy, right? Of course, my thought is the universe just is, and we're discovering it, and it's all the same, and it's all beautiful. But on this day of equinox, of balance and unity and harmony, what the heck do you think of that? Let's see. What do we see? Trey, the Chinese have known what's up for longer than most. Facts. That is true. That is true. Virginia, amazing. I know, right? Is that not so cool? Right? Lisa McCord, whoa, wow, yeah. Julia, that's amazing. Sarah, oh, lovely. So things are not just black and white, but this image shows how The black and white are connected and entangled. Love this, right? So what a great way to begin our celebration today. Betty says, mind blown. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. All right. So that's what I wanted to start with. The next thing I want to do, Sarah, that's good. Harmony is definitely clearer in that image, other than just putting up putting up with those that are not like us. Right. You can really see how the harmony really is, right? You can really see what's going on here. And then I'm like, is this God? Are we looking? I mean, what is this? This is amazing. And I mean, it's what we're all made up of, or it's what light's made up of, or it's what something's made up of. Amazing, right? So, wait a minute. I didn't want to introduce those guys just yet. Justine, it doesn't surprise me all that much when I think about how the hell did the Romans and Greeks first discover astrology, and how did they measure aspects and angles of our planet with respect to the rest of the universe? Right? So there is so much we do not know. But let's play. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do today, and some of you have seen this. Betty Flesher, I know you've seen this more than once. I think I actually made a video of it last year. So this is a thing that I do, right? This is my tarot puppet show. So I told you that this holiday is called Mabon, and that's named after a Welsh god, Welsh mythology. And the story of Mabon is very similar to the story of Persephone, the idea of someone who has been kidnapped and taken to the underworld, which is why we have seasonal change. Many of you know that one of my favorite traditions, and Choki has been with me when we did this live. In fact, Choki and my daughter Allison were the fairies. So when you see the fairies, just think about Choki and Allison, right? But I like to do this with tarot because it helps us understand our tarot cards as mythological characters and how that works. So I am going to tell you a story using tarot, and it is the story of the abduction of Persephone. All right, here we are. Here is where our story begins. And it begins with Persephone, who here is represented by the high priestess. One day, Persephone is out on the hillside. She is gathering flowers, she is praying, and she is singing. But here, on a hill just above, we see Aphrodite and her son, Cupid. Aphrodite says to Cupid, shoot an arrow into the heart of yonder dark lord Hades, that he might spy Persephone and fall in love with her. And so Cupid does exactly as his mother requested. Hades is struck with the arrow, sees Persephone, falls in love with her immediately, grabs her, and takes her into the underworld. Persephone's mother, Demeter, looks everywhere for her, calling her name, wondering where her daughter might be. She sees no sign. She sees no sign of her. Angry, she waves her hand, and winter begins. Demeter is approached for, wait for it, fairies! who came to tell her that they saw what had happened and that they knew where Persephone was. When Demeter heard this, she became angry, but she knew what she needed to do. She went to Zeus, the king of all the gods, and implored him that he would arrange for the return of Persephone. He said that Persephone could come back to our world as long as she had not eaten of the food of the dead while she was in the underworld. Demeter was okay with that. And so Zeus got Mercury, the messenger, to go give a message to the underworld, to Hades in the underworld, demanding the release of Persephone as long as she had not eaten of the food of the dead. But alas, Persephone had eaten 6 sweet seeds of the pomegranate, the fruit of the dead. And so it was determined between Zeus and Hades and Mercury and Demeter that Persephone should reign in the underworld for 6 months of the year with Hades. And then, for 6 months, she would be with her mother in the land of the living. And so, today, it is time for Persephone to say goodbye to her mother and to join Hades in the underworld for the next 6 months. All right. What'd y'all think about that? That was fun. Sarah says, yes, this is such great tarot storytelling. Betty, love this so much. You're the best storyteller ever. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is a fun thing you can do. You can do it with any myth, any story, any song. Just think about what cards go with this story. Now, it's easier if it is myth because myth is infused in tarot from the very beginning. I do something a little bit different on my TikTok where I look for songs that are available on TikTok, so that's already limited. But I look for songs that sound like they would be something someone would say as a tarot reader in a tarot reading. And so I find the cards for that. So that's another thing you can do, but it's a great tarot story, great tarot exercise. Well, thank you so much for your kind words. Glad you all enjoyed it. All right, that was fun. I look forward to that every year, right? It's fun to do with tarot. It's fun to do in person. The first time I ever saw it done, I will tell you a story. Years ago, John and I are ordained through the Universal Life Church, and we were pastors of a church in Putnam, Connecticut for a short period of time. And we were doing Wheel of the Year ceremonies, and a younger member of our congregation said, let me put this together. We're going to do a reenactment. And so he created the entire reenactment based on Ovid's play, The Rape of Persephone. And it has just stuck with me ever since. So it's become a personal tradition of mine since then. So, Sarah, you're ordained too. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Where am I on TikTok? I am same name as this channel, Christiana Gaudet Tarot on TikTok. So definitely check me out there as well. I'm having fun there. All right, time for The next, Julia, your grandbabies are going to love your tarot stories. That's great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Time for the next exercise. And this is where, if you have a tarot deck, get your tarot deck out. I am using my beat up Hanson Roberts for this. Oh, Sarah, I want to incorporate something like this in our future wedding. I'd be happy to help. Really? I'd be happy to help. Seriously. Seriously. Huh. Sally, I need to know this church. It does not exist anymore. It was a really good idea. And for a lot of reasons, it doesn't. I mean, the Universal Life Church still exists, but our little Putnam branch no longer does. But we had a good time back in the day. All right. I'm shuffling, but there's really no need to shuffle because what we're going to do, one of the things I think is really super interesting. Okay, a theme of this holiday, the equinox, is balance, right? And then we look at this image and what this image says to us about balance and how it really is entangled, it's intertwined, right? There are so many cards in the deck that have as a keyword, as one of many keywords, balance. What I want you to do, and I'm going to do it too, and I'll do it so you can see it. Do it yourself or just watch me. And if you think I'm skipping one, let me know. We're going to go through the deck face up, card by card, and make a pile of all the cards that you think have as their keyword balance. So I've got temperance, absolutely yes. The world, I mean, nah, not so much, not so much. The lovers, definitely. So you can go ahead and do this with your own deck, and you may not agree with me. You know, you may think something different about certain cards, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. But no matter what, we're all going to end up with a hefty pile of cards that to each of us speak of, ooh, like I almost need a card for, well, sort of, like Wheel of Fortune. I'm going to put that up there. Like, I wonder if anyone else is going to add Wheel of Fortune to their pile. Yeah, Sally, I was actually wondering if you had ever been involved back then. I think we knew each other back then, but I don't think you were like coming to things we were doing. And if you see me passing by a card, this is my balance pile. This is my, I don't know, let's talk about it pile. This is my reject pile. Not that any of these are rejects, really. And this is what I'm working with. So if you see one that you think you would put in the other pile, ooh, see, that one's hard for me. Just let me know. Let me know. So lots of votes for Two of Pentacles and Two of Swords. I wish you had too, Sally. And let's see what we got here. Definitely yes. 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 All right. I have, let's see. And once you have your cards sorted out, now take them and take your, these are all your cards of balance. Take out the majors. Let's put the majors in order. Okay, and then what do you have left? I have, of course, the 4 twos and also the 6 of Pentacles. The ones that I was questioning, what about these guys? I mean, I could make an argument for balance in all of them, but I would not necessarily put the keyword balance with any of them. Do any of you question that? Strength. Okay, Betty is questioning strength. And yes, please, if you're wondering why, if you're wondering why I neglected to put a card in, ask. If you're wondering why I put a card in, ask. Why strength? Here's my argument for strength as a card of balance. Fierce beast, gentle woman, relationship between them must be in a very specific balance or it's not going to work. She will cage him, he will kill her, it ain't going to work. So there is a balance inherent in this relationship. That's my argument. What do you think? What do you think? Sarah, I feel like balance deals with polarities, so I understand why the wheel or the world or magician could be in maybe. Thank you. Agreed. Sarah, I pulled hangman too because he is dangling and requires the balance of gravity to be stable. Yeah, I could absolutely see that. And like for me, the hanged man is the balance of that question. That is inherent within the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can. That's a balance. And there it is. So yeah, you convinced me. It's going in. It's going in. Okay, and Betty likes the chariot. Yep. Okay, Kyle has the Two of Pentacles, the Four of Wands. That's a good one. That's definitely a good one. The Two of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Ten of Cups. Interesting. I can see it. Totally makes sense. Absolutely. Justine, couldn't the Seven of Swords speak to balance in a more metaphorical way? The balance between should I steal this and should I not? The balance between what I do trust and what I don't? I think it could. Sure. Justine, I added the Ace, 2, 4, 6, and 7 of Swords. Wow, can you tell what kind of issues I'm dealing with lately? Sarah, do you think that threes could be balanced? Because without one focal point, there's no ability to be balanced around it. Well, certainly, and arguably the Empress most of all. Because on one hand, she's this mother, but on the other hand, she does all of these other things too. And she's a 3, so yeah, absolutely. So we're going to work, and whatever set of cards you have chosen for yourself, if you have done so, keep them because you're going to do an exercise with them in a moment. But let's talk about the ones that we have here. I'm going to get rid of this guy. Here we go. Okay. Let's talk about the ones that we have here because the thing that I think is so interesting, the conversation that I want to have here is can you think of any other word, a keyword, that we could say, home, romance, any other keyword, grounding, and say, go through and find all the cards that speak to that, and that you would find such a hefty group of cards. Like, I really feel like, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. I really actually also feel like balance is this super important concept, like maybe more important or more foundational than so many other things, that maybe balance is more required in order to, like you need balance in order to build all the other things. And then what does that look like? What does it mean? I was wondering about that, Mo Salter. I agree. I was thinking about it. The son and the rider wait, the child balancing on the horse. Absolutely, yes. With like hands up. Look, Mom, no hands, no reins, no bridle. There is absolute balance there. Yes. Betty says justice. Did I put justice in here? I should have done. I did. Yes. Absolutely. And so, if We all agree that balance is super, super important and foundational for our well-being, like in every way. You know, we talk about being mentally balanced. We talk about, like, literally, if you're walking and you can't walk well, you are a fall risk because you don't have good balance. We talk about eating a balanced diet. We talk about work-life balance. You know, there's a lot of ways that balance comes into it, but there's a lot of different kinds of balances. And so I would just love to go through these cards and talk about the differences, the different kinds of balance. And then we'll do an exercise with these cards, and then we will do some readings at the end. So those of you who have questions, I'll get to a couple of questions. Would like them to be specifically around either the theme of a new season, or the theme of finding balance, or the theme of harvest, since this is also a harvest festival if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. All right, so hi, Sarah. Okay, thinking home, grounding, hanged man is definitely not it, right? Kylis, think of how uncomfortable an imbalance is, and you can really feel the importance of balance. Oh my gosh. Even on a very physical level, man, you get an imbalance in any part of your body and you're going to feel that so big time. Oh my gosh, you are so right. And likewise in relationships and everything. So I'm going to move through this fairly quickly. If you have a thought or something you want to add about any of the cards, recognizing that there is a little bit of a lag between when you hear it and when I say it and when you hear it, make sure you tag it, the card you're talking about, or I may not know. All right. Okay, and Trey, I see your question, and we will absolutely get to that. I commit so to do. Oh, Sarah, how are balance, we're going to do this right now, how are balance and harvest correlated? Well, the reason they're correlated today is on the Wheel of the Year, there are 3 harvest festivals. August 1st, Lunasa, that's the wheat festival. Then today, Mabon, second harvest, and then the third and final harvest, which is Samhain or Halloween. So it's only because it's fall. That's the only reason. But that's another interesting question. Like, are balance and harvest connected in other ways? I mean, in a way, yes. Because if you don't tend your crops appropriately, you don't have the right balance of soil, sun, water, whatever, there will be nothing to harvest. So there is that. Okay. That's okay, Trey. You're good. You're good. Okay, so tag the cards as we talk about them. High Priestess. Balance with the High Priestess. Why is she balanced? She's card 2, and she introduces the 2 pillars, which in many decks have B and J on them for Boaz and Jachin. These are the outer pillars of Solomon's Temple. They're also the outer pillars of the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. We then see these pillars in many major arcana cards. I don't think I have any out. Roy, you can see them right there in Justice. We see the pillars, throughout the major arcana. The other thing that happens in the weight deck is that the High Priestess's gown turns into water and flows off the page, and then you see that same water flowing through many of the other cards. It is interesting, too, that the High Priestess has pomegranates in her backdrop, which is fun because pomegranates are a symbol of fertility and also the land, the food of the land of the dead. We see, okay, here's 2 ways that we see balance in the High Priestess herself. One is that she exists here and also there. She goes back and forth beyond the veil. She's here and she's beyond the veil. So there's a balance there, being in more than one world. There's also a balance between what she knows and what she says. She knows a lot, she says a little. And I think there are times when these kinds of balances can be important in your interpretation in a reading. So Betty, yeah, the moon with the pillars, yeah, there can be balance there, absolutely. And arguably anything that carries the high priestess's pillars, you could argue. Oh, Mixer, Canadian Thanksgiving is October 7th. So harvest Thanksgiving, there you go. And Sarah says, if you don't harvest, there will be plants that go to seeds, so there is little balance later. Right. Right, got it. And Christina, the chariot, balance of control. Right, and with the chariot, well, we'll get to the chariot in just a second. Let's get to the lovers next. Okay, so the lovers is such an interesting card. And of course there is balance here. And what there is this male, female. And this is such an interesting card because it is, the archetype is the syzygy, the divine couple, which historically has been male and female, but doesn't have to be, right? But with this card, because it is related to Gemini, it's the twins. It's related to the element of air. So it's very intellectual. And I think this speaks to us of balance specifically in relationships. And it can be the balance of what or who do you want to be in relationship with? I'll take this, I don't want that. That's a balance. And then there is the balance of people in relationship with each other and how they do that. This card offers two very important advices in how to do that. One is communication. The lovers suggests communication. The other is good decisions. And so are communication and good decisions product of balance? I would say yes, absolutely they are. So there you go. All right. Now we have the chariot. So yes, Christina very wisely says balance and control, but also the steeds are opposite and yet they pull in unison, right? So we've got these opposite opposing forces pulling together. And that is a different kind of balance. That's how do you get the group of deciders, the politicians, the board of directors, whatever they are, how do you get the group of people who have varying agendas to all work together to move things forward? That's the balance here, right? Okay, Betty, how about the Queen of Cups, mediumship and seeing beyond the veil also? Balanced emotion? Sure, absolutely. Okay, we've already talked about strength. And this is really an emotional balance. This is keeping your anger in check. Here we have literal fairness. And the problem with justice, of course, is like nothing is really fair. We all want fairness. We all expect fairness. We try to treat each other fairly, but nothing is ever really fair. So there's that. We've talked about the Hanged Man. Temperance, I think, is really interesting because it's about balancing but also blending. It's about the right ingredients to create the secret magical sauce. So there is something really creative and mystical here. It requires a great deal of patience and exactly the right ingredients. And finally, the star. How many other people chose the star for this? My thing is the water on water and the water on land. There's a balance there. And when I see the star vis-a-vis balance, what I think about is healing, like literal healing of body, mind, and spirit. So that's the different kinds of balances I see here. And then Six of Pentacles, obviously, it's the other card with the scale. There are two cards that traditionally have scales on them, Justice and the Six of Pentacles. If I see them both in a reading, I wonder if there's an issue with weight control. You know, are you eating too little, too much? Is there something going on there? But Six of Pentacles, of course, can be the card of charity. But it can also talk about different professions where we give money, either nonprofits or grants, that kind of thing. But there is some sense of reciprocity. So this is like, and it can be paying it forward. It can be, you did a great kindness to me that I cannot pay to you, but I will pay it forward to someone else. So there's that energy there, I think. Okay, and we talked about the Wheel of Fortune. And I think, like, my thing with the balance of the Wheel of Fortune is when you're here and things aren't going well, hang on because it'll get better. And then hang on because it'll get worse. And then hang on because it'll get better. And that is the nature of life. So there's that. All right, and then the twos, you know, all of the twos obviously speak of balance. Here, there's like the balance between fantasy and reality as you make plans that you're going to have to execute. And so, like, it's the balance, like, when we do magic, when we work to manifest something, we also have to do the work in real time at the same time. So the magical and the mundane to make something happen. Sarah, I picked the Star, even though both waters going in, balance between land and water here and there, day-to-day emotions and intuition. Yeah, that totally makes sense, right? All right. So, okay, so we did that one. Here, for me, this is very much about being at peace with not knowing and the deep process of decision making. And when I think about it, I think about the Ben Franklin pro and con spread, you know, where you make a list of pros and cons. I think about that going on. So there can be like, what can I know and what can't I know? And what decisions do I need to make? This, for me, is about the healing power of love, but it is also about the balance of in relationships. And so then how is it different from this? I feel like this is more intellectual and communicative. This is more emotional. And Two of Pentacles, you know, for me, that is the balance of limited resources. If you are a person with limited resources, and who isn't, right? We all have to find that balance of how we make things work when we don't have enough time, don't have enough money, don't have enough energy, but we got to do it anyway. All right, so here's the exercise. All of the cards that you have pulled for balance, take just those cards, pull one to tell you what sort of balance you must focus on most right now at this time of balance. Right, that's dead on for me, right? That's what I got to do for sure, for sure. Betty Fleischer, why am I thinking the Tower? Because it deals with balance, because it's going to fall over because it's not balanced? Maybe. Sarah, I also picked the Ace of Cups, balancing the multiple emotions going on in order to move forward in the right direction. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure, absolutely. So, pull that one card, and if you don't have your cards with you, just focus on all of this. We need all of this. Every kind of balance is what we need. And right now, you know, one of the things about earth magic is that whatever the planet is doing, we can ride on that energy. We can harness that energy. So at this moment, the planet is in balance. We can gather that energy of balance to us. So take your own balance cards, the one you've pulled or all of them, and hold them to your heart. Or just look at these cards and think about all the different ways we've described balance. And breathe with that for a moment, using the planetary energy, the energy of these cards, and your own intentions to bring balance to your life, body, mind, and spirit, now and going forward. So mote it be. All right. And the conversation of the tower continues, and that's good. That's good. Peggy, I've already shuffled those back in, but in the last 15 minutes, I will do questions on anything having to do with the new season, harvest, or themes of balance. And I'm going back to see the questions. And will I be able to accomplish, this is Trey, will I be able to accomplish the goal I've had this season, and any advice? You get a balance card, and in fact, you got Persephone, the star of the show today, Trey. What are you going to do with that? I think you will be able to accomplish it. The advice, oh, we got that too. We were talking about that card too. You know, I'm going to say the advice is don't overthink it. Just do it. But yes, you can. All right. And Christina has a card has a question, wondering how quickly the house will sell. I think very quickly. I think it's going to happen very soon. Very soon. Okay. So Kyla's got the 10 of Cups. I need to intentionally reach out to family and friends, be the one to maintain the connection. That's so good. I love that. I love that. Yes, Virginia, the Two of Swords can definitely be about being at peace with uncertainty. Absolutely yes, absolutely yes. Yes. Was that your card? That would make sense if that were your card. That would totally make sense. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Martha Vink, I keep pondering how balance is related to awakening for me. Oh, we can do a reading on that. That's a reading. And I see Mixuir also has a question. So let's get back to card cam and do some more questions. Mixuir, Michelle, how can I create balance in dealing with my family? I'm doing better than I was, but beyond just not going to anything or cutting ties, I'd love some extra insight. Well, let's take a look. Maybe that's not required. I mean, maybe you've got it the best way it can be, and maybe the balance now comes from you accepting that. That's what I'm thinking. Sorry, you probably didn't want to hear that, but there it is. All right. Hang on 1 second here. Here we go. Okay. So Martha, I keep pondering how balance is related to awakening for me, which was a recurring theme a couple of weeks ago, I remember. And, you know, awakening is about welcoming something new, a new experience, new knowledge, new way of understanding. And so then there's an integration. How do you put that into your life? Now that you've got that, how do you find the balance? So when we look at that for you, yeah, it's new information or something new comes in, and you have to figure out how you're going to put that in. And I think that's how those two things go together. That doesn't necessarily count as a question for a reading. So if you have another question, that's fine, Martha. Sarah, how can I accomplish work-life balance? 2 of Cups. Focus on love and partnership. I can't do it alone and need to ask for help sometimes. Set boundaries, but also receive support as available. Yeah, that's beautiful. And remember, love is the most important thing, and love is the healer. Okay. Rose, will I stop putting roadblocks in my way and allow balance and peace in my life? And there's the world. And this was one I was questioning as a card of balance, because you could see it as a card of balance. I could. I don't know how. I can't put the words to it yet, but if I had to, I could. I bet you could too. So, Rose, you absolutely can, but you have to do it. And I think the better question is not will, but how. How can you do it? And the answer is you know exactly. You know exactly. You know exactly what you need to do and how to do it. You just have to do it. So you're the only one who can answer that question, but you know how to do it and you can do it. So you should do it. Ah, Betty, I got the Hanged Man. So glad to get anything besides a card about burdens. I know there's been a lot of that recently, right? Justine, what is knocking me out of balance so badly right now? I shuffled. But I think, honestly, it's the realization of how much you have grown, how much you have changed, but now you have to take that show on the road. You got to take it out into the world, and that's scary. So, like, the pandemic is enough over that we don't have that anymore. You've gone through a huge amount of growth. And so it's time to take everything that you are and know and take it into the world and be okay with that. And that's understandably terrifying. I get it. I totally get it. And anyone who is my age has been there. And it's hard. It really is. But you'll get there. Rose, you are fierce. No BS. Yes, it's true. I know how. But with love. Really, Rose, with love. Really, 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 really. Janice Mattioli, nice to see you. Would like to know if my house will sell. It's taking its own sweet time, but it will sell. It will. Justine, other than job search stress, there's something more, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Yeah, it's called you're growing up and you're learning and you're growing and all of that. It's all of that. It's maturing. It's adulting. It's all the things. Mixture, it's okay. I appreciate the validation for my current boundaries. Good. I'm still going through mourning the relationship I want to have with them versus what the limitations are to support and understand me. Now that makes sense. Martha Vink, thank you. I'm unclear as to what I'm supposed to be awakening to so far. Perhaps a reading on that. Balance is always something on which I need to work. Yeah, all of that. All of that. Oh, Betty, you just asked a really good question that I will answer. Yeah. Okay. So, Martha, I'm unclear as to what I'm supposed to be awakening to. You're supposed to be awakening to the fullness of your own value and a sense of personal security and comfort within yourself and your own skin. Just that little thing. Yeah. And Janice, how do I balance my life not knowing what is coming my way? Well, recognize that it's coming. It's just a matter of time. And work. It's the time element that you're working with. Now, 2 questions, and these will be the last 2 questions because they are for all y'all. One is from Betty. Christiana, how did you know you were ready to be a professional reader? So I suspected I was ready to be a professional reader when people started. And remember, this is like before we had cell phones, and I didn't even always have an actual working telephone in my house, in my apartment. And so people would just randomly come knocking on my door with brownies, bottle of wine, my friend, whatever. do you have time? Can you give me a reading here? I've got this for you. Here is a gift for you. This is my friend. She's only in town for a short period of time. I told her about you. Could you read for her? Do you have time? So people were just coming to me. I had never charged money. I never asked for presents. I just liked doing it because I was learning. And so whoever was around, I was practicing on. And so then they started coming by and bringing their friends. And then they started bringing presents. That's it. You know, when people want to pay you, you have a pretty damn good idea, right? So that was that. Now, here it is. This is beautiful, Sarah. Do you have any equinox rituals suggestions for us individually? That's perfect. That is perfect. Yes, do it today, do it tomorrow. If you have a tarot deck, take Persephone, the high priestess, out and spend some time in meditation with the high priestess. You can write about her. You can think about her. You can think about ways in which you embody her. You can ask that her wisdom be added to your own. It can be real simple or more complex. Then take out a pen and a piece of paper and think about all the things that you want to bring into being over the next season. And then in whatever way you want, use your cards to do a reading for that. And if you want, to do tarot magic for that. How would you do that tarot magic? You would go through the cards face up and choose a card that represents what you want. You're looking for love. Maybe you want that Knight of Cups. You're looking for a new car. There's the Chariot. You want to take an adventure, go hiking. Those of you, there were 2 of you selling a house, 10 of Pentacles. And if you don't have a tarot deck, just print out the image. So this involves meditation, divination, and magic. What better way to celebrate the equinox? The other thing that I like to do on this day is to remember the importance of physical balance and do standing yoga poses that involve balance. Do tree, do standing bow pulling, do, broken stick, any of those, doing those balance postures. And think about it, as I bring balance to my body, so I bring balance to my life. And recognize that it's more powerful to do it around the time of an equinox than any other time. So, all of those things. All right, my friends, we are in just our last 2 minutes. I want to thank you so much for being here, for celebrating this sacred time with us. I appreciate all of you so much. So, what else? Tomorrow I plan on being here for your Friday weekly wrap-up. I will not be here on Saturday for the Saturday Psychic Sampler because I'm teaching at the library in West Palm Beach. So if you happen to be in or near West Palm Beach, join me at noon this Saturday at Mandel Public Library, right downtown, for a free hour-long tarot class. I would love to see you there. Remember, StarCon is coming up fast. You want to get your StarCon tickets, you can join us in person or online. And that's starcon.com, STAARCON.com. If you are a member of this channel at the star or sun level, if you can, join us this Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Zoom. The link is on the community tab, or just reach out and I will email it to you. I am so grateful to all of you. Mo Saltar, thank you so much. And I recognize, when you say you've enjoyed this evening, it's getting to be the wee hours of the morning right now. So thank you so much for staying up and spending this time with us. It is so good to see all of you, and I will look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much, and a very happy and blessed new season and equinox of balance and blessed harvest. All of that to you and to yours.